Ball nigga, ball nigga, ball nigga, ball nigga. Why you ain't got no hair up there? Boy, you looking like a bowling ball. Boy, you looking like a basketball. Boy, you looking like a soccer ball. Boy, you looking like a golf ball. Boy, you looking like a tennis ball.
Welcome back to another episode of the Black Briefing Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Samantha Douglas.
I'm Wild Style for sure.
Wild Style for show. Jared's helping me in the back. Y'all just can't hear him, but he's there. So this episode, we went back and forth about, is this going to be a continuation? Is this going to be the start of season 2? And we decided on this is going to be the start of season 2.
Season 2. Welcome to season 2.
Episode 1. So excited. We made it through a whole year, a whole season. Wild.
And it's been crazy.
Man, when I asked you to go on this journey with us, I had to talk you into it. How
did?
Do you feel now, a year in?
Man, it was probably one of the best decisions I made, because I definitely was like, I don't know, Sam. I don't know. I said, well, I'll do it because you asked.
Yeah.
But this was.
Look at us. At us.
I'm happy, and I feel like we're making a difference.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. I think too. Like what's been interesting about this platform is being able to bring like advocates and activists together across like cultural, racial lines. Like what I love is that we got our folks, like our folks from the hood, like that'll come to me like, I didn't know none of this, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. What's this? They'll ask me questions. All the way down to our white friends, our fair friends.
A lot of them.
Yes, saying all things, and then like watching our data. Seeing that like most of our viewers are white men is so fascinating to me. But I love to see it because I love that people are engaged and involved and listening. And even though we add like a funny spin to it and all of that, I mean, this is all true. Like we're sharing news that's relevant to all of us, especially here in this city and in this state, but even across the country. And I'm excited to be doing this work. I'm sure we're going to be planning something a little bit more exciting for that 1 year, because the 1 year is actually next month. But for now, you get another episode. That's what you get.
It's going to be a doozy.
And it'll be a doozy because people have been clowning, y'all. They've been clowning. Okay, specifically the bald ones. And I know you guys have seen our intro and you've seen our title. And so you know what this episode is going to look like. They're
running amok.
They're running amok, just like the mustaches.
Yeah.
Just like the mustaches. But now here we are with the bald heads, shiny heads, dark agendas. And that's where we're going to start today. So the first one up. So we know that the data center conversation has been a huge topic in our communities across the state, really. And now we have one popping up or trying to pop up in Martindale, Brightwood. So this is one of our historically Black neighborhoods, has historically also been disinvested for a very long time. And now...
poisoned, by the way.
And poisoned. That's a fact. I mean, we could truly go down the list. I mean, this is the results of redlining, the results of running an interstate through the middle of their community, the results of just you can go down the line on the ways that we've not done right about Martindale Brightwood. When I say we, I mean we as a city, we as a state. And now, once you're talking about this huge investment, what would be a huge investment in undertaking and a huge lot of land that could be used for something useful and beneficial for the community is actually being proposed to be a data center. And I think the one difference with this particular case is that their city councilor is on the wrong side of history.
Wrong side of history, wrong side of his constituents, the wrong side of everything. I've never seen a man so adamant that he doesn't care what the pastors think. He doesn't care what his constituents think. He doesn't care what anybody thinks except for apparently Joe Hogsett and the Metro Blocks data center people.
Exactly. And I mean, and it's blah. And it's apparent in how he shows up and how he acts or doesn't. So there's been multiple community meetings where folks have brought him out, where he walks out.
He's walked out of every meeting he's been in about the data center. Every meeting.
Walked out of every meeting except their forum. He didn't walk out of that, did he?
What?
Their forum that they put on.
That wasn't about the data centers, and it wasn't in his district.
That's true.
He just got confronted by a few people over there, but wasn't even in
That's
his
true.
district.
That's true. And so I gave you guys this backdrop just so that you know as we get into our first topic today is about that forum. The forum that was held in Pike Township. It was Carlos Perkins, it was Keith Graves, it was Ron Gibson, and none of them did our community justice, let me tell you.
Well, the name of the forum is, what was it? Building Our Future Without Older People. Because when 36 generators fire up at that data center that they can't speak against, that's what's going to happen in Martindale Brightwood, is you killing people's grandmas. But well, let's go into the it was one amazing forum.
So we didn't get to hear the whole forum. The whole forum was not recorded or accessible virtually. But we did have somebody on Facebook who got a clip, and that's in the description if you want to watch it. It's not real long.
No, it's not. But it'll feel long after.
It will feel long.
Get some whiskey.
Get you a drink.
You get you a drink.
Settle in.
Settle in.
It's tough. But surprisingly, Ron Gibson was probably the least tough.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
In that clip.
That's what I said. Yeah, of that clip, like out of people saying wild, just completely wild, outrageously stupid things and condescending things, Ron Gibson was not the worst bad actor.
He wasn't. The whole time I was listening to him, and maybe it's because we've already heard all the bad things and seen all the bad things he's trying to say and do, but
and he is doing bad things. Let's be clear.
He's definitely doing bad things.
He just didn't come off as much of as a a-hole as the other two.
Facts. I mean, because we were both in the hearing, the hearing examiners meeting the other day, where Martindale Brightwood. So that's the step in the process to get a zoning change. It goes to the hearing examiner first. They make a recommendation to the whole MDC. So at this meeting, the Brightwood residents were asking for another continuation, and it's a just kind of moving it along, type of process. It's just
but also specifically
strategy.
The city council opened their mouth and said that, oh no, we're gonna create an ordinance to try to regulate all this.
Yep.
And so Ms. Gunn said, okay, we need to give city council a chance to go do the research that they said they was going to do and go do something about it.
Yeah, I know. I think it's perfectly acceptable. I think it's perfectly reasonable. The hearing examiner also felt that way, even after hearing from. So Ron Gibson popped up from a trap door.
Yeah, because he was not there until the community asked for the continuance.
Not just that. So I went back and watched the recording actually, and you do not see him even when she asked for the continuance. Once you see him, once Jesse Brown comes out there. And you know what? And at first I thought, oh, maybe I'm just tripping. But then when he comes up there, he literally says, and y'all can fact check me. I'll put the link in. You can fact check me. He literally says, I know my colleague is asking for a continuance. And it's like, your colleague? No. Try your residents.
Yeah, because Miss Gunn is the one that asked for the continuation.
Your residents, your constituents are asking for a continuance. You're ignoring them.
And when the examiner said, well, is anybody against this continuance in the crowd? Everybody had their hands up thinking that she was asking for that. Everybody put their hand down. Like, no, go ahead, continue it.
Right.
Like, so the examiner asked us and we were like, no.
Right. Whatever. Everybody, because they were trying to make the case that like, all these people are here to testify, and all these people are here to have her back. Mm-hmm. And if y'all deny this, yes, we're going to testify. But if you don't, then we're good with that as well. And so, yeah, he popped up to make sure he spoke against that from one of the back doors. So it wasn't even the doors like where all the general community comes in, and he wasn't there for us to see until that point.
He parachuted.
Yeah,
he parachuted in. That's what happened. Yeah. Like, because I looked up and I was like, because we had always like, well, where's Ron Gibson? We were saying him in the back. We're like, and then all of a sudden, he appeared.
What's funny too? After the meeting, after y'all's part of the meeting, because I was there to continue to testify about a different zone change, right? And so after that meeting, they were in the back of the PAR, right? Recording. He jumped straight in front of some cameras, right? And so the hearing examiner had to be like, y'all can't do that in here. Like, take that outside, right? She goes back to the meeting because she can't hear. They start talking again. The attorneys start talking again. And they kept going. They looked at her and kept going. She turned around. She's like, excuse me.
What?
You have to leave. Yes. made them all go out in the hallway. And then that's when y'all seen them all come out in the hallway.
Okay, so then that's when the sheriffs all pushed us to one side.
Yes.
Because Ron came out. I saw when he came out, and we were like, why are they pushing us all to one
on
side?
that left side, on that far side of the park? Yes. So that's why, because she was putting him out. They were trying to do, he was so ready to do a news article. He couldn't even get out of the par before doing it.
But then that had to have the sheriff's push it to one side because he's scared of his own constituents.
Ridiculous. You know, if you did the things that represented your people, you wouldn't have to fear them.
You should, yeah.
They would celebrate you.
Yeah.
They would celebrate you.
Jesse Brown doesn't have that problem with his constituents.
Facts. Jesse Brown was sitting in there with us.
In fact, your constituents love Jesse Brown more than they love you.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So getting back to this
building our futures without older people or people with asthma.
That's a fact. The asthma that the environment already gave us. So in this meeting, like I said, we don't get to hear the whole thing, and me and Wildstyle wasn't there. I was actually with the people of Martindale Brightwood at their town hall panel discussion that they were having at Oasis of Hope.
Unlike their counselor.
Unlike their counselor. And so we get a clip, and it's when folks are finally asking about data centers. And so when they start to ask about the data centers, of course, I mean, initially you hear Carlos Perkins' voice. He's chiming in, and every single time he speaks, it sounds like he's calling us stupid.
They set up a whole narrative that the community is emotional and ignorant about data centers. They're not all bad. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, blah, 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 this and that. That data center that people are fighting in Brightwood, anytime AES cannot deliver the amount of power of the city of Muncie, Indiana, and they have trouble powering my house.
Right.
So this is going to be quite often. 36 diesel generators are going to fire up and start powering that data center that they say has to be up and operating 99.999% of the time.
That's a fact. And let
it's
me
on
tell
the
you
website.
I've seen this in person. So there's a data center came into our community a long, long time ago. It's actually in Eastgate Mall. A lot of people think it's Homeland Security. It is not. Homeland Security has a small portion of it. The rest of it is all just a regular data center.
Well, and this is pre-AI data center. So,
yes, this is
so
pre-AI.
It consumes a lot of power, but it's nothing like consuming the power of Muncie, Indiana.
No. It's nowhere near consuming that kind of power. However, when I toured it, this was not last summer, maybe the summer before that or so, or maybe maybe it was last like February, March, like somewhere in there, early in the year. I actually wanted to go see it. We had the opportunity with the Warren Township Development Association. A couple of our counselors went too, just to see what's going on, because it was all before us, before our leadership. You know, there's nothing we can really do about it now. And in that spot with Eastgate Mall, we know how old malls are going. It was probably going to be a hard fight to begin with, because I'm not even sure what kind of zoning they need for that, and if they had to go through any process, I don't know. But anyway, when we were in there, two very important things came out to me strong. Okay, and that whole time I saw two people. That's one. So this fallacy about jobs,
ain't no jobs.
It is a lie. Okay, I saw two people the entire time, the entire space. That's one. Two, the second thing is whilst I was absolutely correct, there was a separate, smaller facility that when you walked across the parking lot, that was where all of these ginormous diesel generators sat. And they let us know that they will kick in the event of a power outage. So if there's a power outage, they cannot risk. So that's their business literally is running data through there. If power goes out, they can't do that. So they can't allow that to happen. And I think for our small data center, like you said, pre-AI, I think it had 4 or so, maybe like it was like 4 or 5 of them. So I can't even imagine. How many did you say? Did they say how many 36. It would
take? And these generators were so big, and I put a picture up with a graphic.
They cover.
They would probably
almost wall to wall here.
Yeah, they would barely fit in this room, if that.
Yes, wall to wall. So like Wildstyle probably has another 4 feet behind him. and I have at least another 3.5, 4 feet behind me. Like they are humongous. They are humongous. So just to let you know. So Carlos Perkins starts talking. Literally, it's so condescending. He's always trying to educate us on something we don't know. Zoning is the way that we stop this. The state, he's always having to tell us too, like what their role is versus what the state role is, and and we all know this. Okay, that's why we're fighting the zone change.
That's why we showed up to the hearing examiner.
Hello,
we're not as dumb as we look, Carlos.
Hearing examiner,
and some of us doing that. Let me give a shout out to Paula Brooks and everybody else involved on the team to protect Martindale Brightwood. They have made their community one of the most well-informed communities in this whole entire state.
Yes.
And Carlos talking about what people, got to do the real work and everything. Carlos, they are doing the real work, and you've made people have to work harder. Maybe not just you, but really your colleague, Ron Gibson.
That's a fact. So Ron Gibson chimes in, and truthfully, I mean, nothing that he said shocked me or changed
it wasn't
anything.
shocking.
It was, I mean, like he was. It was irritating me that he kept saying citizens. Did you notice that? He kept saying citizens instead of residents. And for those who don't find that offensive, I mean, especially in this current climate, it definitely feels like a jab. So if you're his comms person, maybe say something about
Does
that.
He have a
unless
com?
He just doesn't care.
There's no way he's got a comms person.
I don't know. But there's free comms tip for you, Ron.
No, we probably wouldn't start with comms. So this is a whole lot of
residents, constituents, something. Citizens is rough, especially right now. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's like from Carlos's comments. Like again, he just continues to sound condescending, and then once Graves finally chimes in, Lord Jesus.
Graves, how could you, man? We believed in you, bro. We believed in you. What is wrong, bro? What? Oh my God. You want to
You remember that meme with the white chick and the cat?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's how we feel.
That's how we feel. That's how we feel. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I flat out told him not to go. I mean, and he knows. I mean, this is all true. I flat out told him don't go. And
if you're gonna go, don't say something so stupid. Now we got to clown you.
So he said a bunch of things. So first, much like Carlos Perkins, he gave us the we don't know what we're talking about. So
we don't know.
Explain the things.
We don't know, Keith.
We don't know. We don't know that data centers are different. We don't. That's what Ron Gibson said. You can't put them all in one box.
Yeah. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
We don't know. All the things. And then, but this is what we found offensive. Graves says that. Are these people being funded by someone?
Yes, Keith. I'm cashing my check. I was Martin Luther King Day, but I'm cashing my check from big anti-data center people tomorrow. And I'm going to invest it at your financial firm. I'm going to have it. Y'all don't know. Keith is going to be my investor person. He's going to help me invest all this money.
What?
Stockbroker. Thanks, Keith.
What money is in fighting against data centers? Tell me.
Keith, that is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Heard. One, I've talked about this multiple times. We're broke.
Yeah.
Voila. There's no what? That's what allows us to do this. That's one.
Keith, I need you to read the filing. I know it's not your district. I need you to read the filing. I read the filing. It is 36 diesel generators. I looked up the exact model, the specifications of that generator, and it is almost too big to fit in this room. This is not, nobody paid me. They filed this.
Right.
Your buddy Ron is going to poison his own community and literally kill people.
Yeah.
People with asthma. Yeah. People that are already struggling with everything else.
Make their bills more expensive, not give them the resources or the housing or anything else that they actually need, what could be done with this lot.
I need y'all to take this serious and quit BSing. Like Y'all owe them people an apology. Y'all lucky the people just walked out and didn't toss over stuff on the way out.
Right. And shout out to Annette Johnson.
Yes.
Because bull, she stuck it to them at the end. She stuck it to them at the end because now they're talking about a data center in Pike. And you know how Pike get down.
Yeah.
They ain't playing with y'all either.
They ain't playing.
Pike is not playing with y'all either. So
and
Annette
you call
Johnson,
them stupid. You know, y'all keep calling them stupid and they act up.
In that video toward the end, Annette Johnson slams them. And she also slams them on something super important that I'm going to talk about later in the brief thoughts. But she reminds them, as an elected official, it's your job to go and represent the people. So how you go in these meetings, you have these closed door meetings, you go to the community and you fake listen to them and walk out. And then you go to vote and you vote against their interests. And it was brought up, the general resolution, and we brought this up to Carlos himself, ourselves at the hearing examiners meeting. So we walked up to Carlos Perkins and we asked him directly about, why would you vote against, first of all, the stupid forum? Hello. And then also, why would you vote against the general resolution? Like, if you're opposed to it, if you're standing with the community, because that's what they keep saying too, that's irritating me. I stand with my community. Not in vote. We need the votes.
But what did he say the reason was?
But he said it's performative. He said that resolution was performative. It said nothing, it'll do nothing.
But what message did it send?
Huh?
What message did he say that resolution would
have sent? He said it sends the message that we're not open for business.
But you stand with community, so you worried about what all the businesses think versus your community.
I'm going to save the point I was going to make because we heard that phrase from somebody else just in the last few days, by the way. But I'll hold it until we get to that later. Another bald menace.
2 peas in the pod.
We'll get to it.
2 milk duds in the pack.
That's a fact. I don't think using the same terminology is a mistake. I do not think it's a mistake. But he kept saying it was performative, and I kept saying that it's only performative if you're not working on anything else. He keeps claiming they're working on legislation that'll help the zoning. Yeah, that they're doing the real work. And if that's the case, then signing this general resolution is not then a performative act. It is just a step in the process. It is signaling to your constituents that you do actually support them, that you do actually hear them, that you do actually, stand for them and want to help them. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. For the folks that voted against it, it was wrong. That was a bad decision. You should not have done it. People are coming out. Black folks. You got black folks.
At 1 p.m. on a Monday?
At 1 p.m. on a Monday.
Or Thursday.
From a disinvested neighborhood. So, and I keep bringing that up because we're in the position. Where we gotta work. We gotta make a living. We gotta, because our communities do not have all the things that we need.
I mean, we're
traveling. We are under attack. And we make the time to show up at this meeting. We make the time to prepare statements. We make the time to get educated. We make the time to talk to and know our elected officials. We take all the time. We take the time to knock doors because that's what they're doing. They're going door to door. They are doing all the things. And what you respond with is continually slam doors in their faces. You're practically spitting in their face at this point.
Yeah.
You're practically spitting in their face at this point.
And I want to talk about performative real quick. Well, performative is sending two counselors sending a letter to IHA after I told one of the counselors last year that you needed to go talk to the mayor about the apartment complexes owned by IHA in your district that are being neglected and people are being abused, Keith. So don't act like that resolution was performative. What you and Ron did, acting like that. Acting like y'all didn't know that the properties were for sale and that somehow y'all facilitated them. Where were y'all when I was over there fighting to make sure that those properties didn't go to bad people? Y'all want to play these games about performative. Just be honest with people for a change.
That's a fact. At least we would know where you stand.
Yeah.
At least we would know where you stand. But don't tell me, literally, they're pissing on us and telling us it's raining. That's a fact. They're telling you I stand with you and then going and voting against your interests. That is not support, and that is not standing with your community. That is not what that is. The votes matter. That's what they're sending you there for. It's the votes.
The letters, whatever, everything you do, they're mad.
Yeah.
And I do want to I want to make sure that everybody understands we were very fair. I sent Keith a message asking if he could give us some clarity or proof about people getting paid or what these anti-data center sources were. He said he would get me a statement. At this time, he's not gotten me a statement about who these sources are or how people are getting funded.
Because truthfully, the ones that are confused and need to get educated is not us.
It's not us.
That's the truth. The truth is y'all need to do more than just listening to special interests. And I feel like we've said this till we're blue in the face about a million other things, and we recognize it on a federal level with no issue. We recognize it on a state level with no issue. But when it comes up in your face at a city level, at this level, you don't recognize it. You don't see it. How? This many residents, we're not stupid. This many residents are not dumb, and they cannot be wrong. That's what's crazy. Is even if we're not informed right, we cannot be wrong when you're our representative. Your job is to represent our interests, and we tell you what those are. Those are not dictated to us. We tell you what those are. But you have to actually talk to them. You actually have to stay and listen. You have to actually hear the reasoning. You have to actually care about the people in your district. And right now, I ain't going to hold you. It don't look like it.
It ain't look like it. I mean, and if you have information to refute what we're saying, I went to the filings. This is what Metro Block said they were going to do to Martindale Brightwood. No, you talking about this? Well, they're not all. Yeah, this isn't the worst data center there ever was because it's only 14 acres. If they had more, if you multiplied this by the acreage of these bigger ones, it would be probably more horrific.
Yep.
And let me say something else about, you think everybody's stupid. Ron, you didn't negotiate. You negotiated a pocket park and a mural for your community. And there are data centers that actually, I guess they plan to be there for a while in Europe, and they have district heating, which means that the wastewater that's the waste heat that goes into the water loop created from the data centers can heat people's houses. It can provide hot water year round. And they have done this with factories. They are doing this with some data centers in Europe. And you didn't ask for nothing. You gave like, well, these my community of Negroes, they just want a pocket park and a mural. And then you wonder why people are upset.
And signing a general resolution against this stuff is what's performative. Okay.
Yeah.
There was one useful thing. There was one useful thing that they said that whole time. And that is Carlos Perkins talked about that there is an environmental sustainability committee meeting on January 28th. And that they will be talking about data centers. They will be hearing from experts. Okay. I hope it's experts from both sides of the issue. And I hope y'all turn out. We should pack that meeting out, that environmental sustainability committee meeting, for all of the counselors that said, we need to learn more. We need to get educated. Well, let's all learn together.
And all that stuff better be released publicly because I need to know how y'all being educated.
Well, no, it's open to the public. We can all go.
No, I'm talking about even if we don't make it, I need all them documents online.
Oh, yeah.
I need to know because I'm going to go over it.
Yeah.
and for you to make sure.
I mean, we can. There's no rules about setting up cameras in there, is there?
I think. Well, if it's at the city county building, then it'll be streamed. So.
Oh yeah. So boom. There you go. So January 28th, I'm gonna do my darndest to be there. And you should too. We should just pack it out, regardless of whether you live, because I don't live in Martindale Brightwood, but regardless of whether you do or not, we should just pack it out and we should all learn because it's coming for all of us, especially if you live in a historically disinvested neighborhood. It's coming for all of us, and anywhere we have land.
And also, whether you live in Martindale Brightwood or not, or in Pike Township, which is wrestling with it, you'll be paying for it because all this talk, they did all this talk about how they doing the real work and this and that. There is no agreement between Metro Blocks and AES that shows that they're paying for the electrical infrastructure. It's just a little prissy letter that they stuck in there.
Right.
AES ain't even at the table.
And that's not legally binding.
That's not legally binding. We don't know how much the infrastructure it costs to build, so we can't even hold them accountable later on if we wanted to. Like, it's not legally binding. An agreement needs to be submitted between AES, Metro Blocks, and the city of Indianapolis who needs to manage it.
Yep.
Or we will be paying for it. Not might. We will be paying for the data center infrastructure.
And again, if y'all don't know what we're talking about or ain't following, we had an interview with the CAC, the folks from the Citizens Action Coalition. They are so knowledgeable about this topic, so knowledgeable about how these costs get offset to the clients, us, right? who pay AES for power. So
ratepayers,
we need to make sure that as we're moving forward that we have all of that information, so they can't keep janking us around, because that's what's happening. They're playing around, they're lying to us, and they will continue to do so. And like Wild South said, unless there's something legally binding, they're not committing to anything.
Yeah.
They're not committing to anything.
I mean, they literally said, well, you won't be paying anything, but there's no legal commitment to that. There's nothing, no enforcement, nothing.
So I'm super interested to hear these experts that they bring in for this meeting, January 28th. Let's make sure we're there. Let's make sure we pack it out this episode. So we're recording on Martin Luther King Day, but it should be out this week. So we should have plenty of time, plan ahead, and make sure we're there. I think that's it for this first one. I know we spent a lot of time on that, but we covered multiple things.
Yeah, and oh man, folks just got to do better. Like, man, Keith, there's not many politicians I have a picture with.
Yeah,
I really did believe in you, and I hopefully I can believe in you again, bro.
And this is what I'll say, because I actually get a lot of questions about Keith, and this is what I say. I don't believe Keith is a villain. I don't think he's I don't think he's just like out to hurt our community or malicious or anything like that. I do, however, think though that
he need to get it together. I know that much.
Yes, and I mean, as an elected official, like you were put there by people. You don't have to do any of these things alone. You don't have to make any of these decisions alone. You don't have to think through things alone. Call and talk to your people. Like, hear from them.
Experts.
Talk with them. Yet they are experts on their own district. It's theirs. That seat is theirs too, and they'll take it back.
They will take it back.
So I think that's some of the best. That's some of, I mean, and
Ron, you gotta go, man. You gotta go, bro.
You gotta go. There's no saving that. You just gotta go. Everybody isn't cut out to be an elected official, a public servant, and it's just shaping up like you just ain't one of those, and that's okay. Go find something else to do.
It's your second time around too.
You know what I mean? Go find something else to do, please. So, second thing, and we're gonna try to go through these quick because I know we're already a little over 30 minutes in.
Lord.
I know, but so we got bills to watch. Okay. I wanted to highlight really quick for education bills, Chalkbeat. The Chalkbeat Bill Watch, which I have linked in the description, is a really good resource. And then for most other bills, probably like all the rest of the bills, Mad Voters Bill Watch is also linked in the description. Also a really good bill tracker. They let you know whether they approve, or well, not approve, but whether it's in alignment with their values or not in alignment with their values. And then they also give updates. And then there's also an option too on there when you hit see more. It gives you a quick little snapshot on what it's doing, and it tells you what you can do if you support or don't, like who your elected official is that you need to reach out to. So it's a House bill, your representative, like mine would be Mitch Gore. Then if it's a Senate bill, my Senate representative, who is Michael Kreider. So like you get to see those things as you look at the bill. So definitely want to shout those out. And then a lot of these I'm going to go through fairly quick. Some of these we're going to be able to talk about more. So some of the childcare things that have come up, and not just this year, but in previous years as well. we're going to have some folks come in and talk about like how they're handling and dealing with that stuff. We know over 200 daycares have been closed already. It is crazy, and that's why we're not going to talk about it on the podcast here, because it really does need a full
It
interview.
needs a full its own episode.
It does. So the first week of February, we'll be bringing them through to do a full interview about that. But right here, I do want to highlight that Porter actually did put up House Bill 1026 that would help with some of those childcare situations and voucher cuts and all of that stuff. So there is he put that up. Last time I checked, it hasn't really had any movement. I mean, that's not uncommon for Democrat bills, especially when they're actually helping people.
Yeah, that's not.
And then there's a crap ton of bills up about education. So there's 1004, which is a massive banning bill. I mean, it has so much stuff in there. I couldn't even give you an overview if I wanted to, but you can look up House Bill 1004 and see the details. There's multiple bills about no cell phones in classrooms. So I've heard directly from Warren Township teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And their perspective on it is they don't want to have to be the ones to police that.
Exactly.
They're taking up valuable instruction time on trying to sort out whose phones are whose and how they keep them safe. And then what if somebody steals a phone and who's liable and what if they're arguing? It's a headache. Those teachers are there to educate, not to police cell phones. I mean, that's so. Yeah, so that's 1034. There's House Bill 1102, which is about having ABA providers in there, which is it's like therapists, but that aren't employees of the school. So I've heard from teachers as well that that's not something they want. They don't want people in the building that aren't accountable to that school. And I mean, and I think that makes all the sense in the world. That actually passed out of the education committee already, though. FYI.
Of course it did.
So you got House Bill 1313. It's public schools cannot hire lobbyists.
Except for charters.
And they can't convert instruction days to virtual for planned absences of teachers. So for example, like protests. So like remember they do the Go Red for Ed stuff, all that kind of stuff, and they can just go virtual ahead of time so that the teachers can go do that stuff. Yeah, they're saying
Yep.
And you can't hire lobbyists except charters, by the way.
Charters.
That is actually in there. House Bill 1423, that is the one that is ILEA and IPS. So we will put our kickstand down there for a second. So ILEA did make suggestions to the State House, a 9-person appointed board. 3, and 3, all appointed by the mayor, though, correct?
Not all, but most.
Yeah,
most were appointed by the mayor.
Is that what's actually in the bill, though?
What?
That most are appointed by the mayor. 'Cause I thought it was all.
Okay. You talking about how the ILEA itself was appointed, or how they want to appoint this new corporation?
How they want to appoint this new corporation.
The mayor. They want allegedly for now. The mayor would basically appoint a new board that's made up of charter leaders, at-large people that supposedly have some sort of knowledge, and then they get to pick, and the mayor would pick 3 IPS commissioners to put on this board.
Yeah, so I heard. So from what I heard, I think they're nervous about a certain person ended up being mayor,
but it's probably the one with good hair.
Not
real hair.
What was the title of Jesse's article? Violence, opposition, and politics. Is that not that one? A different one who's much more competent, and actually
has a background in education.
Okay,
so they don't want a mayor with a background in education.
They do not
picking this board.
So from what I've heard is they've talked about some kind of committee that will appoint
a committee to appoint a committee.
Yeah. What's so funny is I'm almost short. Did you see in the news that some of the legislators talking about we have no interest in legislators appointing?
Oh, they don't want to do it directly?
I didn't think so, but I thought it was interesting though that because saying that you're going to create a committee to do this, which it hasn't been said publicly. This is just like what I'm hearing rumors. But if you create a committee, I mean that's just a shell game.
It is.
They're still controlled by the elected officials that put them there on the committee.
But I think what that committee is going to it'll probably be so many mayor people on that committee, and then so many states. So now we got a state takeover of IPS.
And that's you can't. Yeah.
And by the way, I wrote a whole op-ed about how conflict of interest and corrupt that whole ILEA process was. It's not surprising, and they don't actually address IPS's problems.
No.
Like they only address the problems caused by charter schools and some of the problems that charter schools have, but they don't address IPS's problems.
That's what my issue has been from the start. Is every time I went to any of these meetings, I kept trying to figure out how these recommendations, like what makes you think that this solves like the financial issues or anything else that IPS has? And then, they want to say it's governance, like governance alone has been the problem. And it's just,
but nobody's ever gotten millions of dollars out of IPS like they do with charter schools every other year.
Like
people going to jail for this stuff all the time.
If you're not bringing in enough money to cover your expenses, no amount of change in governance is going to help that. They need more money. They need resources. They need support.
But the other problems is that you've got charter schools that are opening up, competing with each other and IPS.
Yep.
Nobody asked for these extra schools to be stuck in these different areas. And then when people go enroll their kids in the rural Indy, they don't know. They don't understand what's going on. They just know, okay, our kids getting put in the closest school available for a lot of parents, because who's got the time to go look up and go through all the smoke and mirrors about which each one of these schools offers.
Facts.
It's such a joke.
So you got anyway, are we done with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so House Bill 1176, schools have the leeway to convert schools to charters, but can't be an authorizer and innovation network partner to a school. So it's a easier pathway for them to convert their schools to charters, but they can't be an authorizer if they're an innovation network partner. That's a direct shot at IPS.
It's absolutely insane.
Senate Bill 78 bans cell phones. Again, it passed the Senate Ed Committee too. This is not encouraging. I don't know what they're doing in the classrooms, but it's not just cell phones. So it's cell phones, any kind of personal electronic device. So anything that's not school
so the watches
issued.
And
yes, watches, laptop, anything that's not school, tablets. Anything that's not school issued, they can't have. And we're just putting more stuff on,
got a
educators.
military academy going on
here. Yeah. So we got to Senate Bill 62. So Senate
we
Bill
are
62,
struggling, folks. This is going to be a doozy right here.
We're putting our kickstand down here too. This is Taylor's. This is Nasty G's bill. So he keeps going on tour saying that this is
a private tour, though. It's invite only.
Oh yeah,
because he ain't on TV. He ain't on radio.
Yeah,
well, he did do the gray table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But everywhere else he's been silent.
He's been meeting with folks behind closed doors. Okay. So he's been meeting with folks, trying to get them behind this bill. He's been on the Morning Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's saying this bill does, y'all, it just
we've asked people to look at it.
Yes.
We've used Chat GPT. Hold on, let me do the
right.
to look at the bill and summarize it, and it just does not do the things that Greg Taylor is saying that it does.
And even for funsies, let's say for funsies that it did, it's not worth all the other harmful pieces.
Mm-hmm.
One, and then two, it's also not worth. This is what we can't control. Once you write a bill and you put it out there, what you can't control is the amendments and the changes that they can make. This opens up a can of worms that creates a very slippery slope that usually our Black boys
will be sent to adult court.
Price for. Yes, they end up paying the price for this.
They
end up paying the price for this.
Even by his admission, this bill is trading some kids for other kids to go to adult jail, adult courts, and everything. What we've tried. I've read more than the digest. I've read the bill. We've read what's the bill. Fiscal.
We've read the fiscal notes. We have
called people. We texted people about it. This is not doing what Greg Taylor says it's going to do. And by the way, Greg, if you first of all, don't tell people that you you talk to me and then like refer to my dad. Like I know my dad didn't talk to you. My name is Wildstyle. Any other name that you think you know that you didn't talk to my dad and you didn't talk to me either.
There's so many weird things, y'all. Like, so it's like there's a part in there where it talks about kids who are committing these crimes and how it's on the prosecutor to, prove like the knowingly, intentionally, or recklessly, and they get rid of recklessly. But then you got this level 5 felony for a child who has a gun within 500 feet of school property or on a school bus. Yeah, within property.
That means you could live across the street.
Right.
You could be walking down the street, across the street.
Right.
And get caught up, and you're going to be charged with this as if you brought it into school.
And imagine these little kids that don't know, y'all, who are bringing a gun to school because they think it's cool, right? They want to show their friends, or because little kids they just do stuff. They just do stuff. And imagine them getting a level 5. Imagine that, a level 5 felony because they did so.
And then if you have a bad prosecutor, we have a good prosecutor, but anybody else in the other counties have usually bad prosecutors.
Right.
They can waive every one of these kids to adult court. And we're not saying all the kids don't get any type of punishment or some type of help for doing this. What we're saying is don't put them in adult court.
And it's just so everything in this bill is questionable. Nothing feels like it's like super clear, or easy to understand.
No.
And I know juvenile law, and especially criminal law, is different. They have their own things, and we're not attorneys. At the same time, though, I know enough to know that this feels like an incredibly slippery slope, and the people who end up paying the cost are usually the people that look like us.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Point blank. Every single time. And it wouldn't take much to make this bill that I already feel like is harmful, truthfully.
I do believe it's harmful.
I believe it's harmful. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Mad Voters has had a thumbs down on it too.
I didn't look, but
most of the notes highlight the fact that it creates this level 5 felony for a kid that has
allows upon any prosecutor's recommendation to be waived to adult court.
And that's we can't know.
Like
you don't allow for this to you don't even open that can of worms. You just do not, especially not when there's so much on the line and when so many more, because I feel like this is already harmful. It can be made even more harmful. And
there is some funny business that we can't quite figure out with those ages in there that makes it look like that if a child is caught with a gun that they can create a path for that to stay with them as a young adult until 23 is what it looks like.
Can't, and that's all I'm saying. We can't know. Like it's just not even. It's not even worth. It's not worth even opening up and going into that and then trusting all of these Republicans that have even shadier motives with what would end up coming out of that. I have no. And I don't trust. So one, I've heard that he did not write this himself.
I'm sure he didn't. He doesn't have a history of writing this
and that makes me concerned because let me tell you, Greg Taylor. I mean, this is not something hard to figure out. But he's not the most popular state senator right now. That's one. Two, he doesn't even have a good enough relationship with the chair of the committee to even get this heard. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's another thing. So why would he be the choice to carry this bill for somebody who wants to get it through?
It's weird.
It's weird, y'all.
It's also weird
unless he was the only option of even getting it proposed,
which means it's a bad bill.
It's a bad bill
because every other senator there would want to carry a good bill.
Yes. You want to carry good bills. And the fact that I'm telling you, the more unclear something feels, usually the more fucked up it is. Truthfully. Like you just don't get to a place where something is this messed up and everything's just good. No.
Meeting with community members and you don't have the people that that supposedly asked for this bill on the call, or a
Exactly.
statement by them, or
A statement by the
or any acknowledgement that they're
news.
involved.
Yeah, even the article they wrote about it, like nothing. We have no idea. Like no.
And Greg on my Facebook status said that they made the news corrected, but they still don't put his name anywhere on this.
And see, I'm
That's
telling
weird.
y'all,
It's weird, bro.
It's weird. So just keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, this hasn't got heard yet. It probably won't be heard, but it does not mean that this language won't show up somewhere else.
That's what we're afraid of.
Just keep your eyes peeled, y'all, as we continue to watch these bills and go through this. But we definitely wanted to park there just for a second because he's been, trying to push this thing. That's the other thing too. He's motivated to do because I ain't never seen that.
I ain't never seen him that motivated.
Me either. So there's that. House bill, going to the next one, House Bill 1035, permissible unsupervised activity. I think this is a good bill.
I thought it was one of them trick bills at first, and I kept reading. I'm like, well, it don't sound bad. And I'm looking. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I dug around it a little bit. Victoria Garcia Wilburn is on there too. She's not, she's not usually, putting up anything bad. So, read that, like to see it. There's a House Bill 1043. Love to see this data center water regulation by Alex Burton. Go Burton! That's our representative out of Evansville.
Okay.
Out of Evansville, young black dude. Remember, he used to be a city councilor down there. He was the youngest black city councilor down there, and then he became a rep. So I actually did his logos. Shout out. But yeah, it requires data centers to obtain a water consumption permit from DNR. So it just creates another layer of
protection.
Red tape and protection. For folks. Love to see that. If you guys, especially for our environmental folks, definitely want to try to see how you can support that. Now, again, will he get it heard? Will anything happens? That's usually a no, especially in our state house. But, we should honor, that somebody's putting this stuff up. Housing. So we got SB 285 and House Bill 1431. Both are criminalizing homelessness. And we see it's on both sides. We got a Senate bill and a House bill that is criminalizing homelessness, talking about the camps, talking about the things. Y'all, I mean, come on. What? So this is just a quick overview. This is just me running through the list, pulling out things that I think we should pay attention to. But please, 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 you can go to the IGA's website and you can read all of these bills. They have a little digest. And like you heard Wild Style say, when we're reading stuff and we can't quite figure it out, we'll copy and paste that thing in ChatGPT. We'll ask people. We'll do all the things. Y'all can do that too. You can do that too. This is publicly accessible information. Make sure you're checking in. The other thing you can do too, you can actually, let's say, you know what? I'm not like y'all. I don't want to know what's going on everywhere, right? I want to know what's being put up by my people. You can do that. Go search your state representative or your state senator, and you can actually see all of the bills that they've put up as an author or even as a sponsor. You can go and check that out, y'all, and you can see what they've been putting up, whether they're, now for our Democrats, whether they're actually getting through or not, because that is a challenge in a supermajority. But you can at least see what they're trying to do, what they're trying to put up. And this stuff is important. So make sure you're checking those out. I'll put all those links in the chat, and we are going on to the next topic because we're almost an hour in. And
it's a segue from criminalizing homelessness to criminalizing homelessness. What is the next segment?
Bop for mayor.
The criminalizer of homelessness himself.
The criminalizer.
That is
that's the political villain starter pack. Edition.
Yeah, it is.
That's the one.
Look,
that's the one. So Bop announced he's running for mayor, y'all. He's running for mayor. He said, I don't care about what none of y'all talking about none of that. Me covering for being Hogshead Jr., being
criminalizing the
homeless, having women freaking thrown out of meetings, survivors thrown out of meetings. I don't care about none of that.
None of it.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna run for mayor. I'm gonna get a promotion.
After not doing anything as counselor. And I didn't
Hold on, and he's your counselor, correct?
He is my counselor.
Wild gets to say that. Look at y'all.
Like most of the people that try to defend them and say, "Oh, Vop didn't do this," or you just need to. I've known Vop since 2015. He's been the counselor over my neighborhood the entire time. He does not get it done. He doesn't listen to the community. The community has been tired of him. And he's gonna do this. He's gonna do worse as mayor if he were able to get the chance.
And you know what? You don't have to take our word for it. There's so much news on Vop Osili. You please search it. Please Google it.
I think the best source of finding out about why you don't want Vop as mayor is read James Briggs' article. James Briggs lays out the case.
Oh, sick. Oh, sick.
Lays out the case of why Vop shouldn't be mayor better than I could do it, because sick. Briggs actually was writing it to support Vop, and he had the first lead with how we need to get over him throwing those women sex abuse survivors out. We need to get over it. Okay. Yep. And then he talks about Vop's accomplishment, which was the General Orders Board that does not meet for IMPD and has been in the news for years for not meeting and getting anything done. And it was something else that I can't even remember. And those were like the two things. And I was like, dang, did Briggs turn on him? Or are you trying to help Vop? Are you trying to hurt him? Because you laid out a better.
Being sarcastic. Y'all.
I'm not.
The article is disgusting.
You read that article and he made a better case for, because you know that he was actually for real. He makes a better case for why Vop shouldn't be mayor than I can, because I'm against Vop.
We make a huge, and rightfully so, we bring up and make a huge deal of him throwing out these survivors. But he's also thrown out other folks too. People differently able folks.
Several people in wheelchairs, Black women.
Yes. This is not the first time.
And I asked him
this.
I talked to him about this. He doesn't listen. He likes violating people's civil rights. He enjoys it.
So there's a couple interviews that I also linked. I'll link that Briggs interview. I'll link that article in the description. But there's also a couple other videos I want y'all to watch. And listen, they're not that long. One's like 11 and one's like 2 minutes.
The 2-minute one is hilarious.
The 2-minute one,
because he was watch. Like, under an Osili administration, that would never happen.
That would never happen.
But if it did.
that individual,
like,
that individual will be fired immediately. Like, what? It's like he's such a robot. I'm like,
that
would never happen.
But you had the whistleblower thrown out.
So listen, during that sit down with Tim Spears, first of all, you can't tell me nothing about Tim Spears now, because now I'm a fan. He was like, Vop was talking about he's brought in people and brought in voices to the table. He said, speaking of voices brought in, he's like, what about the women you threw out of the meeting? He's like, I regret doing that minimizing. No, he said minimizing their voice or something like that. And then, but he refuses to say that Hogsett is wrong, though.
Well, when they asked what. All Tim asked him was, do you think, that Hogsett handled this correctly? Like, and he was like, you have to ask Hogsett. I was like, what? Like, you can't even say like, no, at least say like, no, this didn't go well, or no, I don't think it should have been handled like this. No, can't even do that.
Can't even do that.
You can't speak against the white man, but you'll have women and all women of all colors thrown out, and people in wheelchairs thrown out.
And if y'all could do me a favor, listen. Go from that 2-minute interview and then just click on the second one, the 11-minute video. I think it's 11 minutes, the 11-minute video, and just look at the personality shift, y'all. It'll make your head spin. It is wild. We don't need that.
Let me discuss the video. Is a very well produced video of aura farming.
Oh, you talking about his campaign?
Campaign video.
Yeah. I'll link that too.
The aura farming, and I mean, he's running a campaign on vibes. We accuse Kamala of, but this dude is really running a campaign on vibes. Like,
what vibes though? That's the thing.
Developer vibes.
What?
That's what he was like, I love the skylines. He's showing the skylines. He's walking through the gentrified neighborhoods. And it was like an empty lot. And they had the little the little light doodle goes and it draws like a gentrified house there for him. I mean, that's what
Jesus.
he is aura farming gentrification.
Jesus.
I'm like, bro, like we have a housing crisis going on.
Ugh.
Like our metro area is one of the fastest growing metro areas, and yet we're almost losing population in Marion County because there's no place for people to live. Like we have all these issues, homelessness, which I've had to lead protests against you after warning you that we were going to lead protests against you, and we beat you, by the way. We beat you. We beat you into the dirt over trying to find people for feeding the homeless, but we beat you on that. And you don't have any solutions. You have no plan other than build more shiny buildings because you're an architect.
No, you know what his plan is? And this is what I held for y'all from earlier. To make sure Indianapolis is open for business.
Open for business. That's what he said.
He said he wants Indianapolis repeatedly. He said he wants Indianapolis to be a world-class city.
World-class.
That is a call out. That is a call out to the business community. And this is the thing. I don't mind that if you're pairing that with getting the community with what it needs.
Taking care of citizens.
Taking care of residents
and residents.
here. Taking care of residents here. We already live in a city that is not adequately meeting our needs
at all.
And then that is not a priority that you're listing. He said he's working from the neighborhoods up, but then he never talks about how are you elevating neighborhoods? How are you connecting with neighbors? How are you connecting
it
with
wasn't with the General Orders Board.
How are you? Yeah, like nothing. And I'm not saying I need a full campaign plan, but the stuff you're saying right now is not even convincing. It is not convincing.
I mean, if you want to be mayor and you can't talk about a housing crisis that even middle class people are suffering, you are worthless.
You can't speak up on these data centers. You can't speak up.
He voted against the resolution too.
This is what I want. Find something that's critically important to you in your life that Vop Osili has made a statement about. At least.
We'll wait.
Now, and I didn't say that he's solved or that he's worked.
Just made a statement about it.
Just find one he's
and
made a statement.
And don't hold your breath because we don't want anybody to die.
Facts. You won't find it. You won't find it because that's not who he is and that's not who he's going to be as a mayor. He's not going to fight for you. He's going to fight for businesses to get what they want. And that's what we need in a mayor. And that actually leads us to our next point because everybody was criticizing us because we're excited about Hundley. Our excitement, excitement's always going to trigger the hate.
Well, it's
in other folks.
That you have one candidate that has shown that they can't even speak on the issues, and then you have somebody like Andrea Hundley that shows up to community meetings
speaks on every important issue to us,
and most importantly listens. Like I remember being at a data center meeting in Martindale Brightwood, and she waited to the end to speak after and said, "I heard you. I'm listening. Not everybody else is listening. I'm listening."
She was out there at the protest.
Yes.
She was out there at the protest. She made a statement about the sexual harassment allegations. She's made us, as a matter of fact, every issue that has been brought up, she's made statements about.
ICE.
Whether they're in her district or not.
Yeah.
Everything. Because at least she's not afraid to let folks know where she stands. And that is what's most disgusting about all the baldies that we've talked about in this episode, whether it be Vop or Carlos or Ron, stand for something.
Stand for
with
something.
People.
Something.
Come on. My God. You cannot be that weak. You cannot be that weak and self-serving. Not in those positions. And this is the thing. Your days are numbered. In those seats. I guarantee it. Then people ain't about to keep playing with you.
Well,
I hope you're playing in your. That's the only thing. If after this, somehow, some way, Ron ends up getting something on the back end, it's the only way any of this will make sense.
It would have to be if Vop somehow were to make it as mayor and maybe they put Ron over animal services. Probably the only thing he's qualified to do. Because I couldn't imagine him being anything else.
So,
because Ron's got to know that he can't win an election, not as counselor.
I promise you, he won't win. You heard it here first. You will have a new counselor. Mm-hmm. You will have a new counselor. I'll stand on that.
And I'm not a big fan of AI, but I honestly think an AI chatbot could replace him.
My God, today. I promise. I mean, you upload all the evidence
Yeah.
into ChatGPT and let it make the decision. I bet it would. I bet it would.
I bet you what it says back at least will be less condescending.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So RY on Hunley. Okay. And I'm not gonna belabor this, but Senator Hunley.
She's been a part of a lot of bills, and despite what some of our colleagues, one of our colleagues believes, that does mean something. That means you can collaborate. That means you can work with others. She's gotten bills across the line.
Yep.
She's co-authored bills.
Yep.
And
she got
sponsored.
a bill heard her freshman year.
Yeah.
You have other legislators that took them decades. Plural.
Even when there was
decades.
Even when Democrats were in charge.
Boo. Okay. She's currently the assistant Democrat leader. So for the Senate Democrats, she's the assistant leader. She's a member of the Senate the Senate Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee. She has decades of experience in education as a teacher and a principal. She's led.
That's executive experience.
That's executive experience.
Because I'll tell you what, FOP can't even run a council meeting, let alone a school.
Facts.
Or a classroom.
Facts. Where she's loved, by the way, by these people. Okay, that she's led and served.
Responding to all the messages like, that was my teacher. Oh, that was my son's principal. This and that. They all had great things to say about her.
She's also been on the Senate Education and Career Development, Utilities, Commerce and Technology, Ethics, Pension and Labor, Homeland Security and Transportation, Veteran Affairs, Family and Children Services, Elections, and Rules Committees.
She gets it done. As a freshman senator.
As a freshman
senator, by the way.
At the No Kings rallies. Don't worry, I'm gonna put the pictures and stuff up. But beyond that, I'll tell you what, personally, and a lot of other people actually posted these stories, and I was so grateful that they did. And I'll probably put that up on the screen while I'm talking right now. But to know her, Andrea is just a good person. And do I think that every good person is fit to lead? No. But she happens to be a good person who also has the experience to lead, the boldness to lead, the honesty, the transparency to lead in the way that we need to move our city. So that's what I say. When people want to talk about, oh, why Hunley? Why this? They want to go through all of their bullcrap. What has she proven? What has she done? What is she? Everything that she could do in her position of authority. And that's exactly what I want. And this is why I want to reward her with more power and authority, because I believe that she'll continue to do so.
She has lived up to what she said. She talked to me before she announced that she was running. And she did what she said she was going to do. She said she was going to find common ground between those Republican senators and her and try to get things done. And she got it done.
Yep.
She didn't get everything done, but she got more done than most people in her position.
Facts.
And that says something.
Facts. And I have a link below where it says Hunley bills. So that is the IGA. That's where you can see all of her bills she's ever put up, co-sponsored, co-authored, and all of them are listed
extensive.
there.
I was going to put something together and I was like, this is too much.
It's too much. Also, I would like to draw this comparison. So if you go to Hunley's Ballotpedia. So Ballotpedia has an option for candidates, and it's a section called the Candidate Connection. Okay. And when your campaign is intentional about your campaign, they actually fill this thing out. And so there's a list of questions that they'll ask you that you can fill out so that people can go to your Ballotpedia page and learn more about you as a candidate. Okay. Andrea Hunley's completely filled out. So you can see everything that she said about running for state senate, because that is all that she's ran for. She has not announced that she's running for mayor. She announced that she's not running for re-election. And why did she do that? Because if she didn't do it within the window, it would not be open for other people to run for that seat. It's integrity. It's called integrity. I know we haven't seen it a lot, so it's like,
it's so uncommon now.
It's called integrity. So you can go to her Ballotpedia and you can learn more about her. I went to Vop's Ballotpedia just for fun, just to see, did he fill that out so we can learn more about him? Did he? No, he did not. All you can see on there is the basic general ad information that any other candidate has about their elections, and that's it. So there's that. I mean, I'm done with it if you're done with it, but I wanted to make sure we put that on there because there's a lot of criticism around us being super excited or having hope, which I also think is just like, yo, work on that. That's a inner thing.
And I will say that there is some criticism about what we said about Vop, but understand, I know Vop. I've sat down with him. If anybody says I haven't sat down with Vop, they're lying. I've sat down.
You almost fought with them last summer. We ain't forgot.
Yeah, well, but I'm what I'll say about that is Vop started the argument.
I'll never forgive y'all for not getting that video. Never forgive y'all.
Vop started the argument after introducing me to his daughter.
Jesus.
And so I had to really lay back.
Was he talking really pointed like?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he exactly how he does. And
that would never happen.
I mean, since we done already said it,
administration. Sorry.
Since we done already said it at the opening, I did call him a nigga at one point, and I stand by that. Just want to let y'all know.
Listen, I mean, cause my God, man. Y'all ever be so exasperated with somebody, especially this is not for our white friends.
No, don't do that.
Not for our
white friends. Don't do that.
But for our black folks, you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to a nigga, like you get to a point where you've just had enough. You've had enough. Okay? And that's where he be pushing us.
Yeah, and he ought to be thankful I kept it about that bridge. You neglected making sure it got built, the 30th Street Bridge, versus telling your daughter what you do to women.
That's a fact.
As an elected official.
That's a fact. Because if they experience the things that those women experience under that administration, you cannot tell me that your response would have been to further traumatize them by having them dragged out by sheriffs twice their size. At least.
No, twice my size.
I was going to say at
twice
least.
My size.
Okay. That is insane. So there's that. You wanted to know our why? There's our why. We're
going to be telling you more about this as it goes along.
We'll keep going. We'll keep tracking
I got 11 years worth of stories.
I'm excited to hear him. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm excited to hear him. So that and we might, as it gets closer, because this is the other thing too. This is something I wanted to point out, y'all. So they asked him in one of these interviews, they asked him about other candidates running for mayor. Okay. And he said he's not looking at other people.
Stop.
He's worried about his. Now, let me tell you how we know that's a lie. Okay. I can tell you as a campaign manager, you do not want to come out this early for a race like this. Let me tell you why. Because it's confusing. You come out for mayor right now, and most people are going to go to that ballot, not one time, 2 times now, looking for your name and not see you. And they're going to be confused because you came out so early. Okay? It is not normal to come out that early. Sometimes folks that are already in the seat, incumbents, will come out that early just to let you know, but it's really a way to kind of back off the other folks. Let me tell you why he came out this early. Because Andrea Hunley has integrity, and she was going to come out. She was not going to come out, but going to say that she's not running for re-election. So because you knew that, you wanted to get a jump on that Friday announcement and put out your little campaign video. So are you not looking at any other candidates for mayor? Is that true?
We don't believe that's true.
That's not true. That's not true.
But it wouldn't be the first lie.
If you really wasn't facts, if you really weren't worried about it, you would not come out this early. You would not come out this early. There is not 1 but 2 elections before they'll ever see your name on a ballot. So no, that's not true. So I just wanted to also confront that while we was there. Anyway, next thing, because I'm really pressed. I'm really trying to get us at that hour and a half mark. I'm believing, okay? The next thing up, Bailey goes from police chief to chief of staff with Hogsett. Y'all, I mean, clearly
nobody saw that one coming.
Nobody saw this coming. In my wildest dreams.
So we're in a group chat, and somebody says, Bailey's going to be the chief of staff, and I'm like,
Bailey who?
Yeah, and
everybody. They're like police chief. I'm like, no.
And I didn't put that in first.
They're like, no, chief of staff. I'm like, no, chief of police. They're like, no, he's chief of staff.
Because I looked at it, I saw it as soon as it came, and I'm like, I don't want to be an idiot and say you're not talking about Chris Bailey, the police chief. So I waited, I paused before I even said Bailey who, because I didn't want to look like an idiot.
Hilarious. And it is true. It is true.
Who knew they were that close?
I don't think, truthfully, I don't think they are. Let me tell you what I think. What I think is nobody was going to take this job.
No, that too.
I mean,
that too.
Nobody was going to take this job. He can't even find deputy mayors. All the deputy mayor roles are empty. Nobody was going to take this job, y'all. Nobody was going to take this job. And I think for Bailey, if he wanted to make a career shift,
yeah,
and I'm not sure, this didn't come from him, but if he wanted to make a career shift, nobody else wanted this position. It is prime. And let me tell you, the bar is not just in the dirt, it is in hell. So like right now we have no deputy mayor. So if he just came in and filled positions, he's already heads and shoulders above everybody else.
And the previous one, Dan Parker, oh my goodness, I don't even want to get into Dan Parker. Now I know
Jesse told us about Dan Parker.
Dan Parker threatened to blow up the city's credit rating over some mess, like just because he's a terrorist.
Yeah. And so that tells you a lot right there. But it was crazy to see. But again, like if you're trying to make that shift, nobody else is going to take it. I guess it's a decision. What I'm interested to see, and I actually extended this, so I'll just tell y'all transparently, I had texted him immediately because this is outrageous. And I told him, listen, whenever you're ready to meet, I'm ready to dump it all the different ways you could be helpful in this city. Starting with, let me tell you, this winter, we could not have people die.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. We could actually save lives. So I know a lot of folks have been like criticizing, like, oh my God, this is like awful. This is blah, blah.
I don't think it's worse than what we had.
Truthfully, I do not want to cop as our chief of staff for the city either. It wouldn't be my first choice. But this is what I will say. I think if the scenario I'm thinking is correct and he wanted to switch gears, okay? He wants to prove something. And if he wants to prove something, that could work out to our benefit.
I hope. I don't think it's going to be worse than Dan Parker. I mean, my suggestion was for them to go get a partnership with the Indianapolis Zoo and start sending the zoo animals over to replace Dan Parker. And I know y'all gonna say, "Oh, he did this to make the city run." Is the city running? It didn't look like it to me.
The city is not, y'all. When I tell you there's whole documents to explain how the city is not running. It's not running. It's not doing anything.
It's not been functioning for a while.
Y'all, it is. I don't think people understand just how bad it is.
I don't care how long you known Dan or whatever. I watched it go on, and he ran DPW before that the same way.
Can somebody this is what I would love to see, somebody to do a investigative journalism piece on the last time our city has went this long without any deputy mayors.
Or only one deputy mayor.
Ever? Or only one. Like how has that ever happened in history? Because I don't remember a time.
I mean, a city of this size not to have people that are monitoring. Nobody's monitoring OPHS, and they've been running amok for the entire last 20-25 years. 2025, they ran amok. They ran amok last year too.
Facts.
Or the year
As
before
a matter of fact, speaking of that, we didn't get that on our list, Wild Style.
What?
The navigators not being in the courts.
We'll worry about it for the next episode.
Okay. We'll keep it. We'll save it. We'll save it for the next episode. But that mustache is over there going crazy, y'all. Mm-hmm. And he needs, this is what I propose. I'm gonna say this transparently, and I hope Bailey is listening. I feel like if you put somebody even halfway competent, they don't even have to be
halfway.
just
Don't have to be all the way.
Don't even have to be all the way.
Halfway
Competent as deputy mayor over OPHS. There is no way in God's green earth that he stays.
No.
It is not possible. He took something that was already screwed up to a new low.
Took it to another dimension, a parallel dimension of screwed up. It's twice as screwed up.
It's twice as screwed up. You at least had a few decent, like literally, it's been less and less decent people over there since he's came in. I'm telling you, if somebody even halfway decent gets in there, and if we were just able to get rid of him, y'all, oh happy day. Okay.
And lives would be saved.
Day. And literal lives would be saved. Okay. Just to get him out of there. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at on it. I'm with everybody else about concerns and things. I will say this. I'll talk about this too with my experience with Bailey. Clearly he was, a cop. He was a police chief, y'all. And they have interests of trying to balance community and police. And would I say he was the most community leading police chief? No. And not one that I've experienced. Was he as bad as Taylor? Also no.
Absolutely not.
Also no.
Taylor is the worst.
Did I know exactly where Bailey stood most of the time? Yes.
Even when he didn't want you to.
Even when he was a pretty straight shooter. And I appreciate those things, even if we disagree, because at least I know where you stand, and I know how to approach and deal with that. I'm hoping some of those things are some of the things that cross over into this role, that there's just a matter of factness of just wanting something to be successful. And I hope that's the case. I'm not vouching for that. I'm not saying that's going to be the case. I'm just saying I do at least have that small hope that could be the case if it goes the way,
I've said a lot of mean things about Bailey that I stand by, mm-hmm. But I don't think it's going to be worse than Dan Parker. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right about that, but I don't think it's going to be worse than Dan Parker.
And listen, let me tell you something I will stand on and will vouch for. We will be here to talk about it every step of the way. So if it is bad, we'll definitely talk about it.
But I'm not in the bag against him or anything. Like, it's just some of the stuff that he did would rub me the wrong way, and it was really blaming the community on certain stuff.
Truthfully, some stuff, yes, that stuff, and some of the indecision. So there was some stuff, some officers that I think should have been held accountable for the stuff they were doing. They should have been recommended for termination, even if it didn't make it through the merit board. The recommendation should have been put in. And again, like I said, we haven't seen a real community centered chief since Roach.
I know.
I would love to see us swing back that way, because the community needs some wins.
Yeah.
For IMPD, the community needs some wins. Okay. It's tough. It's tough out here with these cops. So I think that's where I'm at on that. I'm obviously not Hunley hope, but it's a little.
It's a slightly.
I got a little hope. At first I was and then once that settled down, it was like,
yeah.
Well, let's just
It's
see.
weird, but sometimes weird is better.
But let's see. It's weird, but let's see. Okay. Last official topic is IHA properties sold after a string of shootings, arsons, slum conditions, and the community begging for action.
So, true story, I was on TV last year with Pastor Green, and we were begging Mayor Hogsett to do something about IHA. And we had a petition. I had actually went around and talked to people much more knowledgeable about the housing issues in Indianapolis, and specifically IHA, than I am, and had written up a course of action that would have been able to ask philanthropy. I'd even had I'll be honest, I had some people that were probably willing to give the money right then and there to go hire consultants to help at least get IHA in some sort of stabilized position. Now, I'm not gonna say how I know, but particularly that people were told at the mayor's office not to listen to nobody with no petitions going around and stuff like that. I know about it because they're that hateful towards the community and everything else. But now the IHA properties have been sold, and and this sale has been in the works for months. And so, earlier when I talked about performative and Graves and Ron doing that, great. Thank you for sending the letter to IHA. Yes, they are still the owners of it. They could do something. You need to be sending the mayor a letter. You need to be on TV talking to him about why he didn't go get the resources for this.
He actually has the control.
He has the control.
And for those who don't know what we're talking about, so the Indianapolis Housing Agency is selling 7 properties to a development company.
This is public housing.
Yes. The following properties will be sold to a Seattle-based Vitus Development LLC, Laurelwood Apartments, Rowney Terrace, Twin Hills, Blackburn Terrace, Beechwood Gardens, Hawthorne Place, and 16 Park. So those are the ones that housing agencies
all across the city too.
Approved the sale during a meeting Tuesday, January 13th. So, and the IHA CEO, Yvonne Bean, said that Vitus will turn the properties into something, quote, we can all be proud of.
I don't know anything. I did look up Vitus.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough time to see if there was complaints about the other property. But they have properties all over the country, right? But one of the things I noticed on their website is that I couldn't find that they had this many properties in any city. And that kind of concerned me. But again, during this summer or last summer when there was other groups that were really bad that didn't know what they were doing at all that were vying to get the property too because they fire sold this stuff.
Yeah.
And we can talk about public property being fire sold, but I can tell you that because you had like 1,000 doors, these are 1,000 units being sold, the city could have borrowed the money and fixed them themselves and been recouped the money. I put all this in a plan. And it wasn't me. I don't understand finance well enough to say whether that's true, but I know the people that I talk to do. And so we chose to go this route, not in the meantime, after going on TV last year for this, we had maintenance men pissing in on people's dishes in public housing.
Disgusting.
We had numerous bodies pulled out of there, shootings, an arson this year. Like it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Yeah. I think this was impactful, and I think we'll leave it at this. So at the end of this Mirror Indie article, and I have it in the description, they talked to the residents, 72-year-old resident, and she said that her a family member had fixed her kitchen sink when it was clogged in December because she's given up on even reaching out to maintenance. Like she's done with all of that. And they asked her, with a new owner on the way, is she hopeful that things might get better? And this is how the article ends. Nope. So you got a heck of a hole to dig yourself out of there, Vitus.
Yeah.
But and from what I read, so the IHA will actually keep the land that it's on to preserve the affordable housing, to make sure it stays affordable housing. But yeah, they will have the building. So we'll see. I mean, I hope that they know what they're getting themselves into.
That's what I'm saying, because I didn't see that they had this many properties in any other city. So I think in all of IHA's properties are troubled.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the residents doing something.
Wasn't there, what was the one where they were there? You had people paying for security themselves and stuff. Was that an IHA property?
Yes.
Oh.
And they were suing IHA for
it.
That's Barton Towers downtown. And then 2 people were injured in the shooting this year already.
This year already?
This year already.
So
yeah,
Yeah, there's that. That's our last official topic we're gonna cover on this episode. We do have I have a couple brief thoughts. There was one I seen a post that was talking about how people get weird about politics and how politics is weird.
But given what we just transitioned to, this is not weird. This is people's lives.
Facts. And that's what I want. I think that's what I wanted to communicate in this segment is for sports teams, we will clothe ourselves head to toe in our favorite team. We'll go and watch the games. We'll make angry tweets against the owners. We'll do all the things.
Even if we get in a fight with an opposing teammate, that's not weird.
None of that is weird. But when we talk about having hope for a candidate, or when we call another candidate a clown, or when we point to the things that they've done or haven't done, we'll talk about it being weird. And I just want to encourage folks, it's not weird. It is literally our lives.
Mm-hmm.
It is our lives. It is our futures. It's the futures of our communities and our children and anything that you love and care about. There is a political decision that could take it away. Facts. And I don't care what it is. That goes from a person to an actual physical object. Whatever it is, there is legislation that can take it away, including your freedoms.
And just because you think that you're not going to be affected by this, when we have a housing crisis and pain, anger, anguish goes up, violence goes up,
Facts.
You're not immune to it just because you're not subject to that housing crisis.
We've seen too often. We've seen too often where people even this is road rage incidents.
Yes,
they're shot and killed. Yes. These are people who they don't know each other from Adam. I cut you off in traffic, but things are just so tense and so tight that violence comes and it'll meet you at your front door. And we create an environment where those things happen, a culture where those things, and guess what? Political decisions impact that, whether it's making guns more accessible, whether we're lacking mental health resources or the money for it, whether mothers are out here struggling with affordability, so they're stressed out and they just don't have it to take anymore. Whether I could go down the list on how political decisions and votes turn around and translate not just to violence, but everything that you gain or lose as you just go out living your life.
I have a friend, Jonathan Dillard Jr., who died this year. He had asthma, and we have failing air quality even during the winter here. And I refuse to believe that that's not connected.
Yeah, no, it's facts. So I want to encourage folks that as you're on this journey, as you see people posting, as you see things that look like, oh, politics is wild, it's crazy. I want you to know that this wild and crazy space is making decisions about your life.
Yeah. About
the lives of your loved ones. So
some of us that are a little bit more amped, a little bit more vocal about it is because we see the effects. We either feel the effects or we see it in people that we love and care about, our neighbors, our families, that are directly affected by what the mayor did or didn't do, what our counselors are not approving, what Braun did at the state, what Trump's doing. We're affected.
I was about to say, if Trump is teaching us nothing else, he is showing you how federal decisions directly impact your life. So when you're sitting there, your kid is on a wait list for a daycare because there's not enough open and functioning to actually get your kid a spot. So now you don't know what you're going to do about going to work and paying your bills.
Don't say it's just politics.
Don't say it's just politics. That was a federal decision. I saw a post too where somebody was talking about how, the president has very little control over money and budget. Oh my God, when he can make temporary military actions are within his power. When he goes and sends military or drops bombs, who do you think is footing that bill? All of that costs money. When he's accepting gifted planes and it has to now be redone so that it's appropriate for a president to be protected, who do you think pays for that? When he's flying over to Scotland to look at golf courses that he wants to buy in Air Force One with all of his security, who do you think is paying that? When he decides to do military briefs that are supposed to be in a situation room in the White House where you're covered and protected in Mar-a-Lago, Who do you think is paying for and covering that? It is us.
When the judges tell him that you need to get these SNAP benefits out, and he says, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let these people starve. That's the clearest example.
Political.
He does have the power, and they've been done had the power.
And he's showing us how at a federal level, how even those decisions come down and impact you. So imagine how they are at the state level, at the city council level, at the state level. Okay. So these things are important. Learn. If you don't understand, learn. Ask questions. This is what we're here for. It's literally what we're here for. I ask y'all every single time we come on here, every single month, send us your suggestions. Send us your questions. Send us what you want us to talk about and cover. Like, we are so serious about this work, and that's what this platform is for. So let's learn, let's grow, let's do better, because we have to start showing up and making sure that we're holding folks accountable, not just in protesting in the street, but holding folks accountable with that vote. Okay.
Including Democrats. It can't
Democrats.
Can't always be about what Trump did.
Facts.
When Democrats is doing bad too. Not
I feel like we
listening
spend most of the time on this episode talking about bullcrap bald Democrats not doing the right thing.
Because there's enough podcasts talking about what Trump's done. I mean, we can get to the other part. Like, he had a mother shot in the face. Like, that is not something that we got to go. We've been talking about that on our timelines. You know about it, but you don't know what these other people doing to you.
Yeah. And so we have to make sure we're paying attention to those things. The other thing I wanted to do too is for those who are elected. Let me tell you, and I said this. I'll say this on another episode too. When you are an elected official, the job is to represent your constituents, all of those people in that district. Okay, that is your job. When you're showing up for your job, it is to represent them. When they are showing up in an incredible number, organized, telling you what they want, and you ignore them, you are not doing your job
at all whatsoever.
I don't care what work you say you're going to do. You are not getting the job done for your people. And that's what's important. If you feel like there is a gap between what they know and what they should know, close that gap. If you feel like a development that's coming into your community is not good enough, or if your people are telling you it's not good enough, go find a better one. That is the job. That is the job. Your job is to serve those residents. And if you're not doing that, get out of the way. Get out of the way. This job probably isn't for you, and that's okay. There's a whole lot of things that aren't for me. I tell people every single time they ask me about working with youth aren't my thing, not my calling. I love them. I'll support anybody else. Y'all see me. I helped organize the lock-in, all that stuff. Listen, I will fill in gaps when I see them. But youth are not my thing. I recognize that. I stay away and I leave that to the people who are great at it, and that is their purpose, and they have a gifting for it, okay? You can do the same thing, friend. Elected position is probably not for you. Go live your best life somewhere else. Go architect somewhere else. Go, I don't know what Baldy in Martindale Brightwood was doing before this, but you can go back to whatever hole you crawled out of, friend. I don't want no parts. Or go back to being Megamind. I don't know. Do something else. Because what we need in these seats are servants. We need servants. We need people who understand that they are coming to these seats to serve the people who elected them. And well, I guess not just the people who elected them, all of the people of their districts. Yeah. You are there to serve. You are not there for your own interests. And again, if there's a gap, close the gap. In the meantime, you stand with your community while you're closing that gap. I can give you a perfect example of how this works. You can be mad at me. You kill this data center. You oppose it. You oppose this zone change. You do all of that. And then you work with community to talk about what comes next. What partnerships can we create? What investments can we find to make sure that this lot becomes exactly what the community needs it to be? So that it's something that actually feeds these people, that actually helps these people, that actually helps them grow, build wealth, get whatever resources that they need. They just finished their QOL. Link up with the folks on the QOL and start looking, because I can guarantee you what's not in their QOL.
It's a data
center. That is not in their QOL. I know that. So what we need to do, what y'all need to do as elected officials is remember, I don't know what happens once they actually get in these seats, where they think that all of a sudden they get in these seats and they're smarter than the folks who have put them there. But that is their seat. You have it on loan, friend. On loan. And you are there for a purpose, to represent their interests.
Public servants, not public masters.
Facts. You are a public servant. And so I just wanted to make sure that we touched on that, because that's a reoccurring thing that's come up over and over and over and over again. And I don't want to hear you saying you stand with the community when your votes ain't standing with the community.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't. So there's that quick rundown. Y'all, Drewski still out here clowning.
He was clowning. It really.
Drewski, if y'all have not watched the videos of Drewski being a mega church pastor, I don't know what to tell y'all.
All I can say is a hit dog gonna holler.
Oh my God, y'all, it was so funny. Oh my Lord.
And look, if you a pastor of a church and you got 100 members and you got a regular day job, then don't get on here. He ain't talking about you. You
Facts.
ain't got a mega church. You ain't even
Facts.
you ain't got a ceiling high enough to go zip line across.
Facts. This man said, I got you see him talking about he has on Christian Dior
and Christian
Louboutins.
Because I walk in the blood of Christ.
Y'all, I'm gonna link the video. I promise. I'm gonna link the video in the description. Y'all gotta go check it out. It's hilarious. Listen, I'm saved, born again. I'm in the body of Christ, and I laughed, y'all. Okay, it's okay. Okay, it's okay. It's just funny. It's okay. You'll be all right.
He wasn't mocking God.
Right. He was not mocking. How? And they was like,
he might have been mocking your God, but he wasn't mocking God.
That is a fact. None of these pastors are our gods. He ain't mocking no God. He's mocking these fools out here.
Mm.
So they who are pimping the gospel.
The only thing is, and I know we probably couldn't do it there, but I would have liked to see him come in on the horse like that one pastor did. But
that's what I was saying. Like, no. And then he even touched on the close the doors.
Yeah. I mean, he did all of that.
It was funny. It's funny. Go Drewski. He's killing it. The one before that, remember he did the one with the overalls?
Mm-hmm.
He was the trumper.
Yeah. I mean, it was
y'all killing the game.
And then he did the ball nigga thing too.
Hilarious. It's so funny. So make sure y'all check that out. Y'all, Trump, man, y'all president is on wild time, y'all. He done kidnapped somebody, another country's president in the middle of the night, y'all. Killed people while doing it without Congress's approval. This is insane.
80 people died in that operation.
Oh my God. All about some oil, y'all.
Literally.
It was all about some oil.
Every time they try to well, yeah, we're going to do this. Even Senator Lindsey Graham was like,
yes.
He's like, yeah, and we're going to make sure we take care of that oil.
He's insisting upon it's all about the oil. Like, he ain't even,
he'll interrupt
Bush
you.
Tried to lie to us.
Yeah, he'll interrupt you and we're going to take care of that oil. We're going to do this. And Trump's like, and we're going to take care of that oil.
Yeah, y'all, listen, all about the oil. All about the oil. He's also trying to buy Greenland.
I don't know what's in Greenland.
We don't know what's in Greenland. If anybody knows, put it in the comments and let us know.
I would like to know.
Because I would love to know. It's too much stuff. Like, I really, where are these Epstein files? It's just, we are just getting a barrage of things. It's like sneak attack. Like, no. And then he's just like going, it's like the throwing up the blanket and then running away. Yeah. Y'all, some answers.
We do not believe the Epstein files are in Greenland, though.
That's a fact. What's going on? That's what I want to know. Trump's goons shot a mother in the face, and the administration lied about it.
Continues to lie.
They continue to lie and attack reporters who are calling them out about it. I don't even know what we do in this case, truthfully. Like, where
he had the FBI take over the crime scene and block the state of Minnesota from the evidence.
The whole administration
this is murder.
Is corrupt. Yeah, like when the whole administration is corrupt,
murder and cover up in front of us. I mean, you can't cover up much. There's multiple angles of it.
Y'all, if we never realized how important our court system was before, let me tell you, he's also showing us that. Mm-hmm. Because we literally have no recourse but to rely on courts to do the right thing, the just thing. Like,
they talked all that smack when I was in high school, but when it comes down to it, democracy ain't democratizing.
Y'all, it's looking ugly. It's looking real ugly. I will say this though. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. It's the last little piece of national news. So there was a border czar, the head of Border Patrol, Bovino, was cosplaying as as Hitler, as a Nazi.
As a Nazi.
And interestingly enough, as I was looking for those pictures, because that's what this last point on this rundown was going to be, I found out that somebody put a bounty on this dude's head. Y'all. Not y'all out here putting a bounty on his head. Come on, about it.
That's about it. That is definitely about it.
He's going to court. Y'all keep this man lifted in prayer. I'm just saying, he might need some character witnesses. I think it was in Chicago.
Okay. No,
I think he needs some character witnesses or something. Y'all, in Chicago, we need to protect this person. Okay? Because what? It sounds like he's trying to do the Lord's work. That's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to leave y'all with that. It's a wild ride. All I can promise y'all is that we'll be here with you through it.
Yeah.
Continuing with whoever's running for mayor, whatever's going on, in the church in the city with Martin. We have a interview with them. But until then, y'all just continue to subscribe, like, share the videos. We're so grateful for our following and all the ways that y'all support us. Super grateful. Comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know what you have questions about. Let us know anything. If you can add clarity to something we don't understand, especially this legislation.
Yeah.
Boy, if y'all have anything to say about this legislation, and we will come back with an update too. We have a few asks to some attorneys out that we just couldn't pull together in time that we will come back and follow up just in case. But yeah, stay connected with us. We're easily accessible. Our social media accounts are always at the end of the video. So make sure you connect with us and we'll make sure that we're responding and continue to be here with y'all. We appreciate y'all for watching. See ya.
Nigga thought he was Michael Jordan. Boy, you looking like Blank Man. Boy, you looking like Lil Bill. Boy, you looking like Wayne Head. Ball nigga, ball nigga, ball nigga.